Okay, so in this session, we're going to be going through data validation, and the whole concept of it. Data validation is so that we can um, make sort of like a drop-down menu for different rows. And the reason it's called validation is because you can't go beyond the scope that you've already created. So we're going to make another table right here. Just going to copy the information from here, what we're actually. There we go. So copy data over from the student sheet into the validation table. You can see the VLOOKUP here, you can see the pivot here, you can see the HLOOKUP. So for this one, we're going to say this one can be our class status, no, call status. So assuming we wanted to call back students, we're going to create a column for call status, and then in this, we're going to make a data validation referencing another table. So if we add a rule and go over to apply range, we've not created a range yet. So let's create that first. You can already see the drop down here being created, option 1, option 2 for these ones right here. But we're going to reference that to a sheet so that we can customize the options that they give us. So I'm just going to make one here. The validation would be called, referred, called, referred, and pending, not reached. So we're going to use these 4 as an option in our validation sheet. So now that we're now over our validation sheet, we go over to the rules that we created. We're going to create a drop down so you can create different types of validations, criteria, but we're going to use a drop down and drop down from range. This way we can customize what options we want. If we use a regular drop down, we type in the options, whereas if we use a drop down from range, then that means we have to first select the range that they're in. So in that case, we can select our range that is in sheet 6 right here. Select all of that. You can see sheet 6 from A1 to A4, and then we say OK. Now I'll then go over, and we have our validations right here. So the reason it's called data validation is because the only valid data inputs that it's going to take can be these 4, right? And we can further customize it by changing the colors to different colors as well, just like this. And we can have advanced options where we can say we're going to reject any input that is not one of these, or we can show a warning symbol when we try to change something to something that's not one of these either. So in this case, we're going to click reject. We can change what we want it to show up as a chip, and a chip is this one right here. The arrow would look like this at the end of the box, or we can change it to plain text where it's just going to show the information itself, and it's not going to show anything else. So in this case, we're just using the chip so we can see it, and you can see different colors as well. And that is essentially how validations work. And you can definitely customize this however you want. And definitely try to play around with everything else other than the drop-down menus and see what you would like to do on your own time. And that's it.